professional, or something to that effect anyway. This is the one and only Shani. This is the one and only Shani O. She's back. As you can see, Shani, it's post 800. I've done 800 plus episodes now. I'm in the plus.
How does it feel to be a motherfucking professional, dude?
I am a motherfucking professional. I just I don't know. Just one of those. It's just one of those things where it happened. I didn't plan on it. It just happened.
After 800 shows, you get to that point.
Oh yeah, no, totally. It's an interesting position because I'm doing the freelance thing, so there's ups and there's downs. But one of the things I absolutely love is pretty much 90% of what I do is pretty much what I want to do. So, excellent. Yeah, 90%.
90.
Yeah, yeah.
That's business.
I actually enjoy most of the business stuff too. Most of it, not all of it, but most of it. Right? It's the okay. So I'm finishing up, at least for the time being. Like, so one of the, not every freelance job's glamorous. One of them is I was basically going to vape shops and smoke shops and giving out free vapes. I was making a pretty easy job, paid a lot of stupid amount of money to do it. Right. It was like, okay, sure, I'm in. And like, one of the annoying things about the job is as time has went on, it got more and more unnecessarily complicated about some things. Not the job itself, but everything around the job. It was kind of weird. And like, some things you just shouldn't overthink too much. That's just how I look at it. It's an easy job. Don't fuck it up, right?
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, so here's the thing. Like they've had their issues with supplies. So next week I am basically going to be going to Starbucks on a regular basis again, trying to get more clients for my advertising little biz. I did my first major client. I don't know if you saw some of the videos I did with her. You might have.
I have been offline.
So why you been
that's
offline?
My update. We'll go there.
Yeah.
You tell me more about.
So I did my first full client. But I released over on my TikTok, my YouTube, my podcast, all that stuff. Even right now, my podcast for another week is gonna have her ad on. Basically, she's getting all the way up to 804, and after that, then she's done on terms of ads.
Yes.
But yeah, on the podcast. But the thing about it is, I made her 25 pieces of content. I used all of it in various forms and fashions. She's got a whole bunch of that, like, so it's gone all over my streams. Like, as part of the deal, folks, when you do work for me, when I do advertise for you, I do use my platforms to advertise your stuff, right? So she had several thousand people look at the video ads, so on TikTok, which is actually that's a pretty cool accomplishment in of itself.
Yeah.
Right. So
imagine like 1,000 people walked into your business.
Like her big advertisement did 680 people watching it, and then everything else averaged 200 or more. So that's not so nice. So you figure that out. 9 ads, figure a 200 average. It's 1,800. Not the ones that went over, and there's a few that went above that. So it was closer. She's got probably about 2,500 people looked at her stuff.
Did you also do the whole defining her audience through the ad block?
Yeah. Well, kind of. What I did with her in this, I did specify target her audience. She's an urban fantasy / fantasy author, so everything I did kind of was geared toward her book or her project, but with a couple of exceptions. She loves her kids. She co-wrote one of her books with her son, so we talked about all of that. And we also talked about a book she wrote about bullying that her daughter encouraged her to write. So those got a little love too. But by and large, it was about one book series.
Yeah.
And it was just it's one of those situations. Like, she truly does believe in the value of advertising. She actually told me afterwards, and this is kind of like the thing I'm going to mention here. I was charging too little for my services. I should actually charge more. So but no, it was just, again, first time in my case, it's not about being shy. It's about just kind of figuring out where your range is, right? So
what the customers will tolerate.
Yeah. So so I came up with, in light of the wonderful economy where it's likely to go in the next 6 months, I got plans for people that have a little money. I have plans for people to save a ton of money, and I have kind of a plan in the middle. and that's going to be the new offer. So the old offers expire Sunday, right? So if anyone wants the rates, get that deal now, and that's how I've been advertising it. I've been advertising that. I've been advertising like that on my Facebook and on my Twitter, that little particular deal, because it's just like, and I've gotten nibbles. So I mean, like it works. That shit does work.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be spending the next 2 weeks, since I'm paid for this. Also I have market. Also, the other thing too, a marketer. Right? A marketer even told me I should be charging more for this, because branding a franchise, companies pay up to $25,000 for that. So So
and the more assets they have and resources they have to push your way, the more resources you have to push them to the customer base.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you had a budget of 500, that's not going to stretch the same way it would if you had a budget of 5,000.
Oh,
and that all goes to ads.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. No, totally. Absolutely. Like that's a big part of this.
So the only way that you can promise like those exceptional results is if you get those clients that are willing to pay for that.
Oh, absolutely. That is the way it is. Also, though, but I also look at it like this, even for our authors getting, like, I wouldn't say started, because I don't want authors just getting started. I just don't.
No. It's a fucking gauntlet.
Well, it's not even just a fucking gauntlet. I mean, it's just the fact that I realize, like, this is what I realized, and I realize this doing my own stuff. What do I do? I mean, you've seen my LinkedIn, you've seen my Instagram. What do? I advertise every single fucking day. Why? Because basically, if I don't, somebody else will. And I realize the value. Now, my choke point has been money. That's just true. So the idea is I get clients. I get a couple clients. I spend more on my own advertising. And since I'm creating my own advertising anyway, right, I might as well. Like there's a plan. Like the other part about this is investment. And I realize you have to be honest as a creative of what your choke points are. And like I said, everything, again, wealthy people always invest. Middle-class people save, but if they want to try to get to wealthy, they also start investing. They start taking chances as well. You have to. It's the nature of the business. So you have to understand that. And the other thing too, and this is something I've mentioned too, is in a poor economy, advertising is actually more valuable, not less, more. Because what happens is in those times, people are not now discerning what they're spending. Well, they're more likely to spend on something they know is there than something that isn't there. That's just the way it is. And so there is that. Finally, the other little piece of news I'm going to share with you is this. I might be working for a game company advertising a game.
Ooh.
Maybe a game company. One of my freelance gigs has been play testing a prototype card game. Right, a prototype. For lack of this is a trademark. I have to change that. We have to name something else. A prototype living card game. So it's interesting because I'm at a point where the mechanics are pretty sound, but the game's identity needs some serious work, and that's something that I'm going to be talking about on Sunday. But he made me an offer 2 weeks ago. I told him I need 30 days to figure it out, because the other thing he wants to eventually put this game on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Well. So, and he wants me to come up with kind of an advertising campaign for it. So, okay, we can come up. So he goes to me, be ambitious. Okay, I need 30 days because I need to figure out, although there are similarities between a intellectual property product like a book and a game, they're not the same. They're not. And so you gotta look at it. You gotta study the market. But I've been quietly. I've gone to some local game stores, get their input on some things. Someone I really trust gave me some really, really good things. A couple things I do need to know. But he also I pretty much have an idea how I want to do this campaign already. I have to do some more stuff, but I have an idea what I want to do already. So the challenge then is can I get them to buy in? And if I can get the buy in, then I negotiate what you're going to be paying me for the next probably 9 to 12 months, because what it's going to take, right? Yeah,
Be
right.
realistic about this so that you can deliver.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be 9 to 12 months because the biggest, I'm not going to go into too many details, but the biggest thing, the game needs to even have a more distinct identity to even have a chance on Kickstarter.
Well, even getting started this early, like this is when you identify audiences. Like even if it's hard to get the identity of the game unique and copyrightable, trademarkable, you can still identify who might be interested.
Oh, I know it. No, I know exactly where this game should be targeting. I already know, right there. So here's a very no, this is not quite the same game. This isn't quite. It has a board. It has a few other things that goes along with it. But there's a game called We Dragon Inn. Have you ever played it?
We Dragon what?
We Dragon Inn.
No.
So basically, it's about every fantasy character goes to a bar. Essentially, okay.
This sounds like a setup.
That it is. It totally is. So the objective is you pick one of the characters, and they have their own personality, have their own moves, and all that stuff. And so you have to survive the table. That's basically what you have to do. You have to not get drunk and pass out. You have to not lose all your money and get kicked out, and you have to not get beaten up and knocked out.
This is all going to happen in rapid succession.
It usually does, yes. It usually does, right? So because the way the game goes, it's like sometimes some characters are really good at poker. My favorite character has a bit of a split personality. It was a little like mascot rabbit named Pookie. So the objective. So I realized it was just, so again, this is just character identity stuff, right? So Pookie, I figured out when I played him, wants to actually lose at poker, right? Because every time something bad happens to Pookie, he gets a little angrier. And then he gets a little angry. He's like the Hulk. He gets angry, really angry, super angry. Then he's ready to explode. And then he just levels somebody.
Oh, Pookie.
Yeah, right. Then he goes nice and calm again. So I realized he doesn't want to win poker. He doesn't want to get beaten on. That's the other big weakness. Is he can get beaten on when he's not angry, right? When he's not angry. So you got to get him mad. You have to get him mad. So there's a bit of a setup to him. But the payoff is he just levels somebody super ridiculously hard.
Somebody else.
Yeah, he knocks somebody out cold with how hard he hits when he gets really, really, really angry.
Yeah.
So you want to build him up, level somebody, bring him back down, level him up. By the way, your health meter and your drinking meter, if they decide to go like this, you're out too. Right? So just to do it. So you gotta be, again, you're balancing all this stuff out. And on top of that, there's drinking games. There's a lot of cool. So this is the game I'm competing against. The game sounds super, right? This is the game I've identified that this is the game I'm going to be competing against. Because this is the game, right? And based on what I just told you, it sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it?
It sounds very silly.
It is. It's silly and fun.
Yeah.
It's a beer and pretzel game. That's what it is. It's a beer and pretzel game, right? Right. So that's exactly what this is too. It's a beer and pretzel game. It's a little bit more complex, but not that much more complex. But this is the audience I'm going after. See, I've already identified the audience, right? So
now it's on them to figure out what makes them unique from Pookie's game, so that you can bring the similarities in front of the audience, but say, but it's different.
Exactly.
It's kind of like Pirates meets the Caribbean, like all that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally. I've already figured this out. I already know exactly where I want to go. My question is, again, where the game is at right now, right? Can we make certain things more distinct? For example, there's champions in this game. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not naming the game. I'm not talking about it too deep, but there are champions. One of the things I'd like to do is give those champions names. Because if we give a champion a name, we can make a character with out of those.
How do they not have names for their
because again, prototype. They were trying to figure out the identity of the game when I came on board. Right,
they are so early in this.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a Kickstarter. I have to remember so much of this is undeveloped.
That's right. So you have to make
this journey.
Yeah,
that you're selling.
Yeah, exactly. So That's the whole point. You have to. So there had to be a choice made, and I'm basically making the choice. And this is he actually goes to me and says, "What do you think would be best?" Because he had a whole bunch of ideas where he wanted to put the game. That's the other reason too. When you're not sure where you're going to eventually go with a game like this, right? You have to how do I put this? You have to then you're making like a general game, which is still good, but doesn't feel special compared to everything else.
Sure.
When I'm telling a story to a particular audience, then I can make it spicy, sexy, whatever for that audience. I'm about to persuade them. I'm not, but if I don't have that nailed down, then I'm going to make something that's generally good, which still isn't a bad way to start. But as you answer some of these questions, you get into the lore. The lore of the game will create the experience of the game, and the experience of the game is what you're selling.
Right. And it's just a little bit of distinctiveness.
Yes.
It's not that much more work that you need from them.
No, it just there are some little things, and also I had a really cool idea. What because I'm developing my own little board game as well, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I have some ideas of mechanics and ideas that you could throw in that would be a lot of fun. I think. Mm-hmm. Right. One, I'm directly stealing from Magic the Gathering, but I think it would actually work in this game.
That's in the commons by now, right? It's an old enough game.
Well, it's here's the thing, right? So for Magic the Gathering, yes, I'm a nerd. There's two games. There's two formats.
What? Really you're a nerd?
Totally.
I'm hanging up now.
Yeah, I know. Tears in my eyes. But there's two formats I want to play. I will play always in Magic, but just two. Commander, which is a very specific format, but you don't really need to care about. You don't need to know that. Draft, but you know what drafting is, right? Where you pick a card to build something with it, right? There are draft games like Seven Wonders, for example. So I'm assuming you know what drafting is. You all right? No.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you draft players in football. You build your team.
Yeah, exactly. Same kind of concept. So those are my favorite two formats in Magic. They actually released a set that's designed to do both for Commander. It's like, oh, okay. It was super fun. It was super, super fun. And they had a particular mechanic in that particularly. It was like, this is actually an ingenious little idea. Let's use it. And it's something I'm going to pitch. Because especially if we name the champions, it fits perfectly with that. I have it it was one of those little like, aha moments. Right? So.
You're saying it fits perfectly with the drafting feature?
Well, if it came with the drafting feature, but this would fit in the game I'm currently with too. They built something very, very specific to the set they did, but it was actually, I think, a really cool idea. It's something as a template I can go. Template's a cool concept. So I'll take this template, yoink. Right? It's the template. Not so much the card, but the template. Right?
Okay. You're going a mile a minute about something that you know a lot about, and I'm being introduced to for the first time.
I get you. Keep up. Okay, so where you lost? See if I can help you.
The template of you're trying to bring in the template of having Commander with the drafting. No.
No. You're
not trying to do. They have their own setting, and they have their champions, and the champions can do what with this template? And what is the template?
So the template is this was like a mini game inside. It was like a mini game, right?
Okay.
But this mini game, right? It was like it added a layer of fun to this particular set, right?
Okay.
Right now. This template, right? It was like a bonus objective for playing the game. So as a like a side mission, right? You could take that template though and put it into this with the champion stuff, because again, if you give the characters an identity you can give them their own missions and story to go with it, and
Yeah, okay.
add that there. Does that make sense? It was
Yeah,
something
you're given the character side missions as it pertains to the champions.
Yeah,
And so, like, now
exactly.
you have interactions and dynamics and a plot, and people love stories.
Yeah, exactly, and it
Gotcha.
adds to that feeling of accomplishment playing the game, especially
Yeah,
since one of the since it's not always in the game I'm working on, it's not always possible to win a round, but maybe you can win an objective, and that's maybe as important as the win of the round, right? The game's
yeah.
fun, but it's just like it was just one of those. It was an idea that was just like I think this would add something to it, right? It would add a little bit of extra fun to the game. It would feel like a sense of accomplishment to people
Well,
that
they're
play the
not
game.
even thinking about the fluff. They're thinking about the skeleton of you need to do this, this, and this, and that's how you win, right? And so you come in and you're like, yeah, but wouldn't it be fun also if you added meat to this bone and meat to this bone, and it's more to chew on, like
Yeah, yeah,
that?
because you have to
Yeah,
again because once and this goes back to this even in storytelling in general. Once you make a decision what your story is about, that's when you can put the meat to the bone, right?
yeah,
Once you figure out what your skeleton actually is, that's when you can actually build from it. So, I like I said, I've come up like I said, I've done 2 weeks. I have done some research already. Now, what I want to do is now I'm doing the Kickstarter side of things
yes,
because that's a monster.
yes,
Board
it is.
games,
It takes
board,
time.
it takes a lot of time. And
Yeah.
that's the other thing. That's the other thing too. It's just like where they're at is like 6 months. They want it's like you got 6 months. It's like I'm not sure you're going to be ready in 6 months. Like that would be it. The stars align kind of deal. It would work,
Yeah.
but I don't think the stars are going to. As usual with stuff like this, the stars don't always align. So I'm like, but a year, 9 months to a year, yeah, you totally
Well,
could be
that's
ready.
the general guideline for any new project
Yeah.
is 9 months to a year. And what's their monetary goal?
They want $200,000.
Yeah, that'll take time. And
Yep.
if they don't have their own audiences already curated, like building the audience takes time.
Yeah, it does. That's the thing. That's the real challenge. Like I think again, this is just me just talking a little bit. I think me talking shop here. I think the game's identity needs to be a little bit more established before we truly can build the audience to the game.
Yeah. Well,
That's
of
just
course.
what
I mean, how all you know are the kind of people who might like it, but people identify with games. Like, are you
Oh,
a Halo dude or Call of Duty dude? Are you into fucking League or Rocket League? It's all these other things. You identify with what you're playing.
so what's your game of choice, Shani?
Um, Mario, Donkey Kong, arcade games. I enjoy poker. I enjoyed Shadow of the Colossus and Mass Effect and Last of Us.
Shadow Colossus is a beautiful game.
It's a beautiful game.
Yeah, it really, really is. What kind of poker?
Texas Hold'em, generally.
I like Hold'em. I'm too aggressive though when I play Hold'em.
I believe it.
Yeah, I'm just too aggressive.
You're
I'm
a
too.
risk taker.
Well, it's not. It's not actually. It's not. It's not the risk. I'm right. This is my problem. It's when I get ahead. It's not. It's not when I'm.
Yeah, right?
It's when I get ahead is when I get reckless. It's
Yeah.
not up until that point. No. See, the biggest two things about Hold'em I've learned is right. Assuming you're all on an equal playing field, play as many hands as you can. This
Yeah.
is a personal rule.
Poke at
But
them a little bit.
what you have to. If you're only going to play good hands, you can't get as much money out of them. This is something I've learned. This
Yeah,
is
you
something
gotta build their confidence a little bit.
well,
That they
it's
feel
not even that
reckless
they
too.
can't. You have to bullshit a little bit in poker. You have to.
And that's the
And the
whole
thing,
fucking game.
yeah, that's a whole part of it. It's a big part of the game. But if you're only playing good hands, if you're only going to be playing good hands, right? Yeah, you gotta play the numbers to some degree. This is true, but at some point, you gotta be. But at some point, it's like, no, you know what? Sometimes I'm gonna get like a 2-4. I'm gonna fucking play that 2-4, even though I'm not expecting to win. I can always leave when the flop. I can always leave at the flop,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, but sometimes you have to play those hands. it's something, especially when you get a streak of them. Sometimes you'll get a streak of shitty hands. You gotta play at least a few of them, right? So, or
otherwise you're gonna learn to read you so easy, so quick.
yeah, it's it. Then you're done. Like it's already over. Like you might again, if you really play percentages, you might be able to grind for a long time, but sooner or later they're gonna get you because you don't have any versatility to your game. Right, right. You have to play a bad hand. So, and I'm fine with that. Sometimes I enjoy it. But what happens with me is, I'll get ahead, and I really want to bully the board, right, right. So, but sooner or later, when you have that run of hands in your favor, it goes the other way again.
Sorry, right? And, I am listening. Yes.
Yeah. It goes the other way again, and when it goes the other way again, you're kind of boned. You know what I mean? You're just kind of like, and I get too aggressive because once there's a thrill. It's a discipline thing. I don't play it enough to be disciplined. It totally is. It totally is because once you're ahead, you do have to play a little differently. You can afford to play percentages at that point because you're the chip leader. They're all coming after you. You don't have to, and you can at that point wait them out. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But it's no
the Monopoly game.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's no fun if you just wait them out, and that's my downfall. That is my downfall in poker. So, but at least I know it.
Play most hands right for the beginning, where I'm still reading the person. And then once I think I got them nailed down pretty all right, that's when I will stick mostly to my guns here. Like, I know this hand's going to win, or bluff the shit out of them because they haven't figured me out yet. Right? I figured them out. I'm usually the first one to figure people out, but I take it slow, you know? I pride myself on that. I'm up to my own horn here. Yeah. And that's going to bite me in the ass next time I play. I'm going to lose so hard because I said this.
Yeah, you did.
This moment and blame you.
Yeah, that's fine. You can blame me. And that's fine because I think it'd be hilarious because no, like I said, I usually play poker too. I usually start lopsided. I don't usually have the most money on the board. I usually have the least.
Right.
Right. So I usually have the least. So, but again, when I've gone to like the professional tables too, I just realized like they're trying to get rid of you as fast as you can. You have to be bold, or especially when you are behind, you have to be bold. You have no choice, right? Because you got that right, and so you have to understand this when you play everybody, right? So it's something. These are things I've learned. Again, it's a psychology game, and once you realize that, it's like, okay, cool. All things being equal, though, what I've learned is you play as many hands as you possibly can. You don't play all of them. You don't have to play all of them, but like sometimes, so my worst nightmare in poker is pocket jacks. That's my worst nightmare.
That's what you wake up sweaty to?
Because it's too good to throw away. But it can be busted so many different ways. It's like, I hate this man so much. I would rather play 4-7. I would rather play 4-7 because 4-7, I at least know like I probably am not winning this hand. But hey, let's see what happens. I'm good with that. Pocket jacks, you're like, oh shit, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you have a decent chance when it comes to face cards. There's 4 sets of 4. You have 16 cards in your favor.
I'm telling you straight up, pocket queens, pocket kings, pocket aces, I'm with you. Pocket jacks, drive me up the fucking wall because they always seem to get hammered when you least expect them to, right?
Right when you trust them.
Yeah, right when I trust them, I usually get fucked by them. It's like they're the worst. They're the worst. And I look at them. I'm like, Matt. The math says I should play to you, right? My gut says why am I so uneasy doing this?
Broken my heart so many times before, pocket jack. Not again. No.
Yeah, I've done it. I have done it.
Across the table, and I see you cry, and I know exactly what hand you got.
No. If you see me crying, it'll probably be something like 9-2. I'll be like, what?
At that point, I ain't losing money on that.
Yeah. At that point, I'm just crying. It's like, yeah, but no, pocket jack's like, oh. then the worst nightmare then is you see the river and you see a queen and a king. You're like, ah, no. Yeah, or just the flop.
Yeah.
Or the river. You just see it and you're like, oh no, because I had you up until that point, right? So it's like, and you know
Yeah.
it, right? You know it, right? Because also like it's so common. You'll see like Queen 7 or King 9 or Ace something, and you're like, it's a good
This
enough
needs to be
hand to get to the,
perfect.
yeah, yeah, and it's a good enough hand. And usually, if you have that hand, you will play to the flop at least because it's not bad, right? Especially if you got an ace, you're like, I got the high card, if nothing else. What the
Yeah.
hell, right?
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, so yeah, I hate pocket jacks so much for that reason, because it just you can get hit really hard on that. So I have
We
found
gotta
this
play
to be,
poker at some time, dude.
no, totally, but pardon me, that would imply at some point we'd actually have to hang out in person because I'd rather play you in person.
I don't. Are you even in the States yet?
No,
Because
States
you
yet.
moved from your mountain retreat for
I
some
did.
job.
I'm currently in and hold on a second. Yeah, I don't know who did that, but I saw a message there. I am. I am. What's the term? No, I'm living in Calgary. I just got back home, and I'm here for now. That's kind of how I feel. Like I'm here for now. I feel like again, I'm just going with the flow.
Yeah.
I felt like coming back out west was the right thing for me to do.
Yeah.
I do feel. Could I end up stateside next year? Yes, I do feel like there's actually a decent possibility of that.
I'm in Washington. I am your neighbor.
Kind of. You're if states wise, there's a few states. I'm actually my neighbor's Montana, or then I think
Fuck
it's North Dakota.
Montana.
I know.
Okay.
I-
All right.
I'm talking about geography, right? I'm just talking pure geography. I go south of Montana right now, right? So
You used to be in Vancouver, though.
I used to be in Vancouver. Vancouver
Yeah.
was 3 years ago. Yeah,
We've been doing this for a while.
not that long.
Not that long, but
No.
long enough for me to know that about you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I lived in Vancouver for 8 months. It was it was an interesting experience. It was an interesting experience. I would not live in the Vancouver again.
You don't say.
Well, I like visiting the city. I think the city is an interesting place, and it's definitely God's charms. But I'm not a Toronto guy, Toronto, Ontario, Canada guy. But I felt more comfortable in Toronto than I did in Vancouver. After about 6 months, it just there's that weird. Now it's also I have to accept the fact too. I'm 40 now, so maybe it's just harder for me to make friends than it used to be too. That might be part of it. That might be part of it. But I just think too, like I'm a pretty friendly guy. I'm pretty good at making an ass of myself in front of everybody. It's not like it's super
fine
powerful.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So because last time you told me your age, it was 39.
October 4th was my birthday last year.
No, I must have.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday and a half. I'll be 41 soon. It's interesting because I don't feel it. I certainly don't. Now I'm all trimmed up again. I certainly don't look it. I feel like right. It's just
I noticed.
Yeah.
You're all clean shaven, all cut up.
Yeah, no, it's just I'm a freelancer.
Very
man.
different.
I'm a freelancer, and you gotta look the part at least some of the time. It's fun. Actually, going back to my like the vape thing I was doing. I was actually the first 2 weeks before they gave me what they wanted me to wear. I was dressing up better than what they wanted me to wear. Like
That's
honestly,
weird that they would want you to dress down.
It's what they did. It's what they did. Because I was wearing like nice shirt, nice shirt, nice pants, shoes. Shoes are the only thing I've kept because it's just comfortable. But I mean, no, They just
wanted you like a t-shirt and slacks kind of guy.
No, they wanted me. So they so instead of wearing the dress shirt, they had me in like this sweater, which doesn't look terrible, but it's not great, and a white t-shirt underneath. And I'm like, yeah, you know, it is what
You
it
don't
it
want
is
me
what it.
back.
What? Yeah,
If
it's not.
somebody
It's not.
gives me a white shirt, they better not want it back.
No, they're not getting any of
No.
the clothes back. They're not. They're just not. Um, I'm handing back everything else tomorrow because again, I don't know if I'm going back there or not. My gut says we'll see. But in the meantime, I've got clients
Yeah.
to build, and I got other things I got to do. And like I said,
Yeah,
these are
dude.
just some of the things. These are just some of the things I've been doing. I mean, my 800 episode went by. I got published in a short story in a Kickstarter. Yeah, so I've been doing stuff.
That's
You,
so exciting, dude.
yeah. What are
What?
you doing? What are you
Oh
doing?
my god. So much has fucking changed. I had to have
Do
a
it.
heart to heart with Shani.
Oh,
A
okay.
very deep heart to heart. A come to Jesus moment. You know, dude,
Okay.
I just got elbow deep into the soul of Shani. I was like,
Okay.
what the fuck am I doing? You know, turn that elbow around. It wasn't pretty. I did not rehearse this. I feel this dramatic about it.
Okay.
I've spent a lot of time on my current goals, you know,
Mm-hmm.
on my past goals. I want to do books. I want to join Pixar. I want to do portraits and character art and illustrations and interiors and exteriors. And I want to fucking sell copyrightable artwork for fucking cards. And okay, Shani, what don't you want to do? Is that easier? Should we start from there? Right? And it's like, okay, I want to do all these things. I have the know how, I've taken the courses, I've done the stuff. I'm not lazy, right? I'm willing to put myself out there. I'll commit. So what is the problem here? And then I look around and I'm like, it's got to be that I don't want to do any of it. I don't want to have clients. I want to make my own stuff for me. And you know what I've always wanted to make? The shit that I keep saying every damn time. I'm working on this graphic novel project. I've been saying that since I was a teenager, right? And that's, if I've changed my mind on book illustrations and Pixar and whatnot in the last 2 years, but I haven't changed my mind on the graphic novel issue, then obviously I'm into the graphic novel thing. So that's where I have refocused. And in refocusing, I have changed so many tactics. Starbucks is good. I don't feel fulfilled, and I feel insulted half the time when customers talk down at me over a cup of coffee. That ain't
Yeah.
cool. I'm worth more than that, right? So I got to
Absolutely.
find myself a little day job to support my bills and my art interests and all the other expensive things that I like to do with my life, right? So I am in a course to be an EMT right now.
Okay.
It is hectic. I have 400 pages to read by Tuesday. Digest, study, all these things. And I am planning to go up that kind of ladder with EMT into paramedic if that's where it's at, and join some fire department because they've got like excellent hours and excellent benefits. And this is like years down the line, right? We'll see if EMT even works for me. And if it does, we'll go paramedic. And if that works, then we'll go firefighter, right?
Okay.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole politics thing, right? But the
I,
goal there
okay.
is that I don't want to have to find clients that stresses me out and then puts stress on my art, because then I'm not being true to what I want to do for my art. I want to tell my own stories through my art. I don't want to paint other people. I can do it. It's a great skill. Fine. All right. But there's like, if the motivation's not there, but all the skills are there, then I've got to assume that I don't want to. So I have to find something that lines up and supports what I do want to do. Right. And that is finding a job that can give me a purpose. EMT sounds great. I can handle that. And having that purpose support the rest of my life. So what's interesting Now, before I go into the next part, did you want to say something?
I have questions, but I'm going to let you go. I have a lot of questions, but I'm going to let you go for a bit because I think you need to get some things. I get the feeling our conversation last time impacted this a lot.
Not only that, dude, I have been transient for almost a decade now, and I'm coming to the end of this household right now. And I need to have a job that pays for the next place so that I can be stable. Okay? All right. So I have time to do the EMT thing, get a job, save the money, get out. I don't have time to dilly dally looking for clients, hoping that it works, will it, won't it, all these things. And if I put that much pressure on it, I have a feeling it's not going to work because it's going to like come from the wrong place. So at least that's how it's been for me, right? Other people, they get fuel from that kind of pressure. I get anxiety. Okay?
That's fair.
Right?
That's fair.
So I have since, before this class started this last week, right? The 2 weeks leading up to it, I have taken all of my stories from my various binders that pertain to the graphic novel project. I've gone through all my material. I've written plot points and character points and all these different arcs onto like little pieces of paper, torn the papers up, thrown them onto cardboard boxes that I've torn up, and just fucking FBI'd them into an actual plot that makes fucking sense. I don't know why. I did not see my life being dedicated to such a long story, but what I am finding is that I have something akin to an arc like Star Trek where it goes on for seasons and seasons. So, okay, what I'm going to need is to write everything out, at least something workable for the first like chapter or two, start drawing that out, build the audience, funnel them to a Patreon if they're into it, and then have that support. And that's where I'm at.
Okay. 2 questions, and I will give you my big and wonderful thoughts.
Okay.
All right. Why EMT?
So the housemate went into it, and I never really thought of it until he did it. And then he started talking about it, and it just sounded good.
Okay.
Like, my mom was a combat medic for the military.
Okay.
I grew up with that kind of household. The humor, the jargon, the experience is familiar to me. And I've been in experiences of high intensity, and I have found that my brain just gets a sort of calm in that situation that it doesn't have outside of those situations. And maybe that means my brain is just geared for it.
That's one possibility. The other possibility is for already a long time you've been doing shit that's bored you to tears.
I'm also bored to tears and overqualified for most of the shit I've been hired to do.
Yeah. Oh,
yes.
I've been that way for a long time. The difference is okay, but we'll get to my thoughts on it. So here comes the second question. This is it. Do you believe that your art can support you?
That's definitely been a crux of the question. Because I've had a hard time answering the idea of, do people even want my art? Because I haven't made that sale. I've made some portrait sales, not a lot. I haven't made product sales, but that's probably because I'm not pushing the salesman attitude and like developing all that.
That's
so I'm sure it could if I found the audience to like it, and that kind of audience building takes time. And meanwhile, while I'm doing that, I'm thinking about this graphic novel project and how I could be working on that.
Okay. All right. So this is a very important thing I'm asking for this reason. Okay. So I truly believe anybody can make a living with their art. I don't think it's impossible. Now, is it going to be exactly what people have envisioned? Maybe not. That can be a variety of different things. But one of the most important decisions, I've had authors come on here, and we've talked about, and I've had musicians, I've had artists, some well-known artists make decisions that hey, I'm only doing this as a hobby, or I'm doing this part-time, and there's nothing wrong, by the way, with that answer. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it. The you have it is very hard to make a living with your art. It's very hard to make a living that way. It's not easy because, and especially in the beginning, the biggest doubt that creeps in my mind is who's going to look at my shit. Now, going into an EMT, going into another job thing eliminates that anxiety. And so I'm going to ask this again. Do you think you can make a living with your art? And there's no wrong answer here. It's just I want you to think about that honestly. Right? Because I'm not knocking you going to be an EMT. I'm not knocking you doing whatever it is. Shani, you can do whatever you want to do. I will always love you. Right? Right? That's that right. But I say it like that. What the big thing is, right? You again, it's hard to carve your own path. It took me a very long time to figure out how to do it. Right? And even so, I'm still struggling. Next month it could very easily be that I'm only making, now again, 4 figures as a freelancer is guaranteed for me next month. Guaranteed. But it's a low 4 figures. Right? I have to work hard to get to where I want to go. Now, do I think it's possible with what I do that it can happen? Yeah, all I need is 1 or 2 yeses and I'm there, right? And I solve next month. Then the month after, I solve again, just 1 or 2 yeses solves another yes. But I'm also a salesman. I'm also cutting my own deals. And one of the things about that is I think in the next 5 to 6 years, all of us are going to have to develop that skill to some degree. Right? And that's kind of, and so all of that to just say to you, honestly, right? Or have you made, like, is this a decision basically to eliminate that anxiety fully? Or is it a matter of belief? Because we had a long talk about that after the
We
show. I
did.
did. Right.
Yeah.
So this is I'm bringing this on the air. What do you believe is possible for you?
I am thinking, right? I believe it is absolutely possible to be a bajillionaire as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
My art mentor, she's doing it. She's making millions of dollars a year. She's doing it on her own terms.
Mm-hmm.
She has her own tactics that works for her. She knows her audience. She's put in the work. She treats her art like a business, which means that there are sales tactics involved. There's tax, there's income flow and finding your audience and all these things. That there's days that you create content and days that you focus on the art, right? She hires people. She delegates so that she can just focus on the art most of the time, right? I believe it's totally possible to make your art a business. Do I want to spend my time creating portraits of people, or do I want to spend my time creating my stories? My stories. Do I want to spend my time doing cover art for people? Do I want to spend my time doing the stories? My stories. I keep going back to that, right?
Okay.
If, I had started this, like, I'm not lazy.
No.
I'm capable. I'm educated. I'm a sensible person.
That makes one of us.
Well, then why am I here?
Yeah.
So is it a belief thing? Because that would have to be, if it's not all of that, and if the answer to that question is no, it's not a belief thing 100%, then it might be a belief thing, right? And I know I have issues with confidence. I work at that. I think lots of people do.
Oh, sure.
Is that the thing that's stopping me? I've gotten positive results when I put the effort in to engage it with social media. So the feedback is there.
That doesn't matter, though.
Content creation is just so
monotonous.
And I would like to create content on my stories rather than creating content for sales. And that's where I'm at, I
No,
think.
no, that's fair. No, again, I'm
I
so you're
think
gonna be you're gonna be hiring me or someone like me down the road. I totally
yes, absolutely. At some point, yes, because
yes.
as Patreon leads to Kickstarter, all these things.
But no, I okay. Have you done ad copy?
Yes,
How good are you at it, in your opinion?
probably a 3 to 4 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah,
Regardless of what you choose to do with you, this is going to be one of this will save you time in the long run. Get better at that skill. The reason why I say this, and this is very important, ad copy is also this very same thing as the back of your book. It's the exact same thing. There's a couple little differences, but not many. It's the
yeah,
same thing. The reason why authors suck at this today, a lot of authors suck at this, is they don't understand that this is your ad to get people to come read your book. Right?
yeah,
And right. So I speak so and also worst case scenario, worst absolute case scenario down the road for you, right? You'll have a skill that will actually enable you to get sales. So if you do have to use your wits somewhere down the road, which I get the feeling we all will, unfortunately, with the way things are going.
You're an optimist, aren't you?
Actually, I am an optimist. I am an optimist, but I'm also. We're not gonna go too deep into this because I don't think this isn't really here's my personal belief. I think the biggest problem we have, we want to talk about the world in general, is that people sell themselves short. And because people sell themselves short, they will take abuse that they bought honestly in a more sane and just world. They'd say, fuck you, I ain't doing it, and walk away. It took me a very long time to realize this, but life is a negotiation. I don't have to cooperate with anybody I don't want to. I don't have to say yes to anything, right? It is all a matter of what I am willing to tolerate for the money I am getting, right? That's what it is. That's all this is. This is true for our leaders. Like I said, our leaders, I don't care which country you look at, have zero fucking integrity. They have zero fucking transparency. Now, I don't care whether you're liberal or conservative. They're both team rich bitch and they don't give a fuck about us. So here's the thing. Right? They don't openly give a they openly don't give a shit. And we take it. Why? It's not a legal process. It's not because we have no choice. Bullshit. We have tons of choices. The reality of the situation is we have accepted that this is the way it is. And that's a self-worth thing about our relationship between our leaders and ourselves. And also, to some degree, with each other. So I think that's the real problem. When you look at what's happening, like we're not going to go into today's wonderful overruling, right? But the thing about that, yeah, no. Hey, listen. You know more than most how much I really value bodily autonomy. You know more than most. So yeah, I think it's an abhorrent thing. But at the same time, I'm seeing the same squawking. I'm seeing the same bullshit. I'm seeing people crying outrage and not doing a damn thing about it. And that's the problem. And to anybody listening or watching and saying, well, what can we do? It's like one of the things, legitimately, we could all go on strike with this bullshit. And we should. We don't have to cooperate ever, but we will. Why? Because we as a culture do not see the worth in ourselves. That's the problem. That's the real problem. When you break it all down, all this other shit down, all of this shit we have going on today is a direct result of this. We know what we're dealing with. I told you, we're team rich bitch A, team rich bitch B, team rich bitch C. It really doesn't matter. They're rich bitches that don't give a shit. So why the fuck do we? That's what it comes down to. That's my opinion.
Folks. Just
What?
junction. You heard it here.
Yeah. Am I wrong? Do you think I'm wrong?
I think it's a lack of self-worth, and we don't know our neighbors enough to feel safe in abandoning a system that is familiar to us.
Yes.
If we don't cooperate with the system, we're on our own. But are we? Because we still have community. But what's our community? Because we don't know it.
And the thing is, the reality is, and this is where, okay, I'm an optimist. I know what my worth is. But the realistic thing is, this is the time to get to know your neighbors, because I got news for you folks. It's going to get worse before it gets better. Because we're the new to come, the old must pass. It's a biblical quote, but it's an accurate one. We're watching the disintegration of the old. Now, whatever the new is, I have no idea. I'm not going to pretend to understand. But we're watching the old slowly disappear. We're going to be more and more on our own as time goes on. So it's best that everybody gets along and meets new people and not care so much about which team rich bitch you choose.
But honestly, we're choosing the best of a shit show. I'm not going to fault somebody for their choice in the shit show. It's not like they
but
made the shit show, right?
I'm not faulting your choice. I don't
No.
care what you're saying.
I'm agreeing with you, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what side they're playing because they both fucking suck.
Yeah.
Right? You are not better because you didn't choose the other shit. You chose shit A.
Yeah.
Just
That's
saying.
it. Yeah. Like I said, I don't care. Politically, I'm an atheist. Right. So politically, I have no faith in any.
Yeah, right. I don't believe at all.
Like seriously, if I heard a politician say the sky is blue, I legitimately look up because I want
sure?
to be. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, there's a little bit. That's how little I trust the system. And I'm an optimist. I trust people, but I don't trust the system as it currently is. That's just, again, this is what the world has taught me in 40 years. Now, hopefully a better world will come out of this, and then maybe I could. So in my hillbilly ways, when I'm 60, right? I'll have to learn how to trust government again, but I don't, because
That's 20 years from now, dude.
I think in 20 years we're gonna have a very different system. So
at least a different world.
Yeah, a very different world. No, it's going to be
sure if the system will have adapted by then, but the world will have changed.
Well, no, well, here's the thing: either the system will adapt or it will die. It's that simple, really. It's that life's pretty blunt. You change, or you're dead. There's no middle. That sounds harsh.
It's called adaptation.
Yep. That's what it is, right? So now at 60, it's going to be a little harder for me to adapt because I'll be talking to clouds. They'll occasionally be talking back to me, and I'll be like content.
So just like today,
kind of, except a little bit more,
Got
right?
it.
So
yeah,
right, and you know, and it might, and I'm going to hopefully have a little bit more patience than what I've seen at that age. Hopefully. Although I understand that that's going to be a struggle because, frankly, it's like, I've heard this shit before. And that's the thing about today. Like, when I went on my Facebook today, it was like, I've heard all of this shit before.
Oh, yeah, right?
I've heard all of it.
At some point, you learn to see the patterns.
Yeah.
I'm considerably younger than you, and it's like, Jesus, this is so recognizable.
Yeah, and as you get older, it's actually more frustrating because it's like, dude, can you not see what I am seeing, or am I the only one going mad? The thing is, I have seen this before. I've seen all of this before, and right. It's also why, like, when the gun thing happens, like, here's the thing: it's like, don't come to me with those old arguments either, because you're not changing anything. You don't really want to deal with the problems, right? I've said this to a few people. Why aren't you going after the companies profiting from this shit? Because that's the way to solve it. No one does it. They're just going back to the Second Amendment rights. They're going back to all these other things. I'm like, none of this shit has worked, or it's not enough to work. Why aren't we really dealing with the problems? I don't know. But like I said, that's the thing. And I'm 40 and I'm pissed off. I can only imagine what I'm going to be like when I'm 60, right?
Time out, because this became a political podcast.
Yeah. No, we're back up.
Politics and whatnot. Maybe the audience is kind of over it.
Mm-hmm.
Putting that out there.
Yes. Oh,
there's a lot going on. Maybe they don't want to hear.
Yeah.
It's stressful people, right? So we were talking about something.
Self-worth. We'll go back to you now.
Right.
We're gonna go back to you now. Now we'll go back to you.
I wasn't trying to say that to get back to me, just to get away from politics.
No. We're going to come back to you because here's the thing, right? We have to, because so this is whatever you decide to do. Listen, I'm going to root for you no matter what. Okay. When you get your graphic novel out, maybe at that time I'll be reviewing it somewhere, or I'll be doing some really cool shit somewhere. I'll be like, yeah, I'll help you out however I can. That'll be great. And it's great that you want to tell your stories, right? It's great that you want to tell your stories. If that's your focus, though, and will be the last piece of advice I'll give you on this. Yeah, I know I can do no, because this is the important thing. Whether it's an EMT, whether it's whatever you choose to do to support yourself, make sure it does not distract you from what you actually really want. And that is my last piece of advice to you on this, because this is what you truly, truly, truly want. One of those other little wonderful things I've noticed about life is if you go to the universe, I want this to happen. It will happen. It will happen.
It's
it will.
amazing that way.
Yeah. So
yeah,
this is where I'm saying it to you like this. Your stories are worth telling. Your art is worth showing. You make beautiful things. Really do. So but if that's what you want to do, if that's what you really, 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 really want to do, then you make sure that nothing distracts you from what you really, really, really want to do.
That's the plan.
Good.
I feel like every decision I've made that has made life considerably harder has been in pursuit of this Bolshevik lying on my floor here.
What's the Bolshevik? Is that your graphic novel?
Hold on.
Bolshevik? Really?
Bolshevik, I hope the screen doesn't freeze up on me here. You see all this here, dude? I'm just trying to fucking put a plot together. Excuse the can of booch there.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like it halfway figured out, dude. This whole thing was a mess 2 weeks ago. And it kind of reflected the disorder that I was feeling in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm running in circles here just trying to get something in order, and then it clicks for me, and then the life kind of orders itself. And it's like the path just lays itself out once you know what you're looking for.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, it totally does. Right? I understand. At this point, like, I guess where we're different is I actually don't know how old you are.
I'm 27.
You're 27. Okay. I actually don't know. It's like I've never actually. I don't think I've actually ever asked you that. So
you have once, and then I deflected.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm not gonna treat you like a kid. So, no, it's more along the lines of the fact that when I was younger, I did the same thing. I balanced a job with my creativity. I'm 40. I no longer want to balance. I want just to be creative, and I'm good. Like I said, and this is where I'm at. Maybe this is where I'm thinking that way. I'm thinking a little bit. I want you to understand where I'm coming from.
Sure.
That way you understand. So, no, I totally get it. Like it sounds to me like, again, EMT. I think EMTs are. It's a toss up between them and nurses, who are probably the best people at understanding medicine. In the medical field. EMTs know their shit. Like they have a incredible. They do things with incredible speed. They get you to the hospital alive. They're really good at that. And some of the methods they use really are amazing. Like if you actually look some of the shit they do, it's like that's genius. If you folks really want to know what actually works, about 99.7% of their shit works. Like really, really good, right? They know their shit. They really, really do. And the toss-up is between them and the nurses. The toss-ups between them and the nurses, because the nurses do all the day-to-day care. And notice, folks, I didn't mention doctors much. Again, not going to go too deep, but the people that do the day-to-day knowledge of keeping you alive in the medical fields are the EMTs that get you to the hospital, and the nurses that take care of you day in and day out. Those people know their shit. Right.
And like, I never want to be a fucking nurse. You are 100% exposed to people who are going to make their problems yours, right? But as an EMT, it's like you are in crisis right now and I'm going to help you, right?
Yep.
And you
I mean,
just do it and deliver it and it's done and you're on to the next one, right? That I could get on board with that.
yeah, it's quick in the sense
It's
that
quick.
the anxiety is shorter. Whereas, I totally get that. I totally get that. I don't. You know what? Tonight, I don't think we're gonna draw. I
No,
want to do that.
probably
No, we're not gonna draw tonight. I don't think that's what we're gonna do. Although the next time you do come, I do want to draw, but tonight
Yeah.
we're not going to. Tonight we're not going to. I don't feel you're in quite the right headspace for it, and I also feel like but I will pursue this as a little challenge for the next time we do come on the show. So, when you start school, I should ask this question first. Like, are you starting?
I've started it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have so much homework to do, dude.
Yeah,
That's
it's all good.
what I'm going to do after this.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
So assuming you're not bogged down in a zillion different things, I'm assuming you're working on your story as your other goal at this point.
The next 2 weeks is no story, it's just reading. But after that, the workload should decrease, and it's my goal to, when I'm not doing the story or the rest or the whatever, I'm doing the story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I haven't cleaned up this mess. I want it to be a problem for me until I address it.
I can respect that. Okay.
Yeah.
So no, I get that. I totally understand why. So I'm going to make this really simple then. Here's my challenge. Because by the time, so in the next month, one of my little goals is to get myself a printer scanner because I'm going to be serious and starting to do my stuff.
Yes.
My stuff in terms of, I got a couple books to finish. And like that's the other thing about the next 2 weeks. When I'm not getting clients, I'm going to be either doing my podcast or I'm going to be working on my novels.
Yeah.
So the next time you come on the show, you're going to still be working on your graphic novel, and there's a really good chance I'm going to be working on mine. So here's the deal. Next time you come on the show, that's what we do. We won't talk so much. We'll actually get into it a little quicker. And we'll just get right to it. We will get to. Is that fair?
We'll get to which. We'll get to what?
We'll work on our graphic novels on the air.
I'm in, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to. I understand what the story is about, but I need to be able to get it to a point where I can translate it to somebody else, right? Because at that point, that's when I know it is ready for the public.
I actually had a comic in the back of my head how to draw a comic. I took a major step. Do you want to wait just a minute? I'll show you something real quick. Just give me a minute here.
Mm-hmm. Hi, everybody. My name's Shani. I run the art bar. I do a lot of different kind of art. But right now, I'm focusing on my comic. Can you relate? Do you have a project that you feel really passionate about? Tell us about it. I'm just Joshing.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Whatever she said there. Whatever she said there. So what do you think?
Okay, bring it up closer because I can see that it's heavy line art. That is, it's almost like an owl. Is that an owl?
It's an angry dragon, an angry mini dragon.
I said that. Did you hear me? I said angry dragon.
I heard owl.
We're saying the same thing.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. So I had this idea a long time ago about doing it because again, I don't draw well, or I draw better, but I don't think I'm there yet.
You
right?
improved so much, dude.
Yeah.
Sincerely.
Yeah. So here's the deal. So I had this idea of doing how to draw a comic about a little dragon named Zippy. Those eyes.
I remember this.
Yes, those eyes are the clincher. Because I figured out when I found those eyes and learned how to draw them, it's like, okay, I can do it now. Because that's going to be a very much his look at me. Because straight up, I'm going to be messing shit up sometimes on purpose. And he's going to be looking at me. He's like, what? Like that's going to be his reaction.
Breaking that fourth wall through the third wall.
Well, yeah, because the first comic's I've already kind of written the script for it. It's mostly words until the very, 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 very end of the comic when I draw him for the first time. It won't look that different, I think, than from that guy. It's gonna be a little different, but not that different from that guy,
Yeah.
right? Also, drawing those eyes, I accidentally figured out how to draw boobs better, but that shows you, I mean, I'm still 12 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly porn, but drawn nicely.
Yeah. You know,
Stylish
it's
porn.
okay. Listen, I am okay with being 12. I am totally okay with being 12.
It's a 12-year-old and 40-year-old body. Don't mind me.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind even a little bit. I made, like I said, I made my look. I am immature, and I am okay with this, right? And I'm just doing things just based off of what I got. Oh wow, lots of,
What?
Nah, I was just checking something on the face crack. Probably shouldn't, but I just checking something on the face crack real quick. It was just like, eh. But anyway, let's get back to you here. So
No, for next
for
time.
next time.
Yeah.
Next time, well, no. There is something I did want. I did want to ask because of our little chat last time.
Yes.
Right. So, and that's this: are you more confident?
I'm more comfortable with the idea that I'm going forward with.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to convince anybody that they want something or find the people who already do. I'm just creating something that I enjoy with no pressure, and then I'm putting it out there just like I've seen other creators like me do. And the model's there. I do it the right way. The right people who like what they see will come to me. I don't need to force them. I just need to put what I do already out there. And the job that I will have that gives me another sense of purpose that doesn't bore me to tears, that job will be the other part of my life. This is a long way of saying I'm comfortable. Am I confident? I don't need confidence to just go forward. I will go without confidence.
See, I'm going to push back just a little bit. It does take confidence to go forward. It does. It does take a little confidence. It does take a little bit of bravado to say, let's just fucking go for it. You're talking to the guy that literally will do anything he damn well pleases the whole time, and
Yeah.
openly and consciously. And I'm telling you, it takes bravado. Now, that doesn't mean
I
you
am
shouldn't.
comfortable with my ability to handle consequences. That's where the bravado comes in.
Well, yeah, but I see. I still think it's a touch more than that. But I'll let you. We'll let this go. But I do think it's a touch more. It takes guts to put your work out there. It really does, and it takes a little bit of that bravado that I can do this, and that is a confidence thing in of itself. So that I will, but here's the big difference. When we were talking last time, you were talking about your art in a very self-deprecating in terms of portraits and stuff. Like, it doesn't matter. It's not this. It's not that. You're not doing that now. I know. Yeah, maybe it's because you're afraid of me, but yeah, but it's also not your go-to right now. And that's why I'm asking you that question, because it's like, again, you made a decision, and I think it's a decision you're good with, and that's great. What I wanted to kind of highlight before we move on, get to the challenge, and I guess plug whatever it is you're going to want to plug, because you're kind of in a weird limbo now because you're not offering any services anymore, right?
If people want my services, I'm open to hearing it. If it's an exciting project, okay, real talk to anybody who's interested. If I have to negotiate with you on stuff, I got other stuff going on. Tell me what you want, be okay with my price, and we'll move forward from there. Otherwise, I am so busy, dude.
No, I understand. I actually I have to raise my price.
Yeah,
because I have to, because I realize I did my first one. One of my it's been interesting because I've lost a lot of the quote unquote stable stuff I had a month ago. At the same time, it's just whatever. I'm just going to find another way to succeed. My goal at the end of this year is to quadruple my income as an artist, as a creative.
Yes.
That's my goal. Quadruple.
Yes.
Because by the time I quit, and I get the last thing I'm going to say, folks, economies don't matter. And what I mean by that is it doesn't. Yes, the economy does make there's buying purposes, but there's more than one economy out there, and you have to understand that if the pandemic taught you all anything, is that business happens no matter what. Business is always going to happen. There's always going to be audiences. There's always going to be people looking to make things happen. Right? Your job in rougher times is either to be one of those people making things happen or to find the people that are making things happen. Whatever you choose to do. But no matter what, they are always moving. Always.
It's always possible, dude.
Yep, exactly. It's now, it's never. It's your choice. That's also that was my motivation today. And it's from one of my favorite little songs, but it's like, it's now, it's never. And I got to make my decisions the first little thing. I love that. I love that song.
T-shirt, dude. You and I should just get together for a T-shirt company.
I'm down. I'm totally down with that. We'll have to actually. I have an idea. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, right.
I have an idea. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it after you.
Yeah.
No, we'll talk about it after you. I have a thought. Although, like I said, understandingly, your time's valuable, and also that stuff too. But we'll talk. Okay. So, no, that's good. So, on that note, this feels like a good spot to stop for now because we could keep going, but I feel like at this moment in time, you're good, and that's
unloaded, dude.
Yeah.
That was cathartic.
Well, no, it's just I'm actually. So this is gonna sound like I'm always a little shocked with it. This is gonna sound like a patting my own ego a little bit, but also just a little bit of a humbling thing. I'm genuinely shocked how many people listen to me. It's a weird it's nice, and I don't say that like it's fascinating because in this little process, I've seen people who are way more successful than me listen to me. I've seen people who are just getting started listen to me, and it's genuinely like, I'm glad you're doing what you're doing. It's not like you do feel a lot happier, right?
Direction, dude.
Yeah. You feel a lot happier. You do feel a lot happier. No, like totally something that in the future it will serve you. And I'm glad I was able to make whatever I said that really rattled you. Right. I'm glad I made the difference.
It's always good to come on here, right? In between sessions, we may not like interact much. I know it's on me. I'm a busy person. I don't prioritize well with the computer life. I do stuff, right? Not an excuse. This is to say, I find these conversations so valuable because like nobody else in my life is talking about this kind of stuff. You are a peer and you are a model for what consistent work can do. The fact that you are surprised that so many people of so many different levels of success are listening to you, that's just a testament to where you started, to where you're at now, and where you're going to go. And that's all based on your consistency and authenticity.
Yes.
I'm not surprised that you're finding so much success, and I won't be surprised about your future success. I will be happy for you because it's about damn time.
And but also when I hit that barrier, you realize I can be pretty honest when I say this. When I do cross that line, I'm probably going to be going to the States. Probably not going to be coming back to Canada anytime soon. Maybe in the mountains. I'll go back to the mountains. Yeah.
Do they call?
Yeah. Well, I look at it this way. It'll make you kind of jealous, but also too, at some point in the future, right? You'd be like, come visit. You'd be like, grr. Yeah, it's okay. Fine, you talk. Do it.
Skirt. All right, I'm coming over. Jesus,
yeah, that's right.
We're gonna play poker.
So I guess to wrap this up, then officially, we'll talk a little bit off the air before we go, because we do. Where can people find you? Do you want people to find you at this particular point in time?
Yeah, y'all feel free to find me, reach out. You can find me at The Art Bard. People keep thinking I'm saying like barn or bart. I don't know what's an art bard. I don't know. The Art Bard, the Bard of Art.com. That's me. That's also my Insta, Shani the Art Bard.
Yes.
And that's my LinkedIn. If I'm there, I might be. I might not. That is my Gmail.
Okay.
That is my Gmail. You can reach me at theartbard@gmail.com.
So for anybody watching, anybody listening, here's the deal. There's I got an announcement tomorrow morning. I will be back here on the stream, but I'm not going to be talking about a guest. I'm going to be doing a presentation on the freelance mindset, because that is something that we were talking about this a little bit in this conversation, self-worth. And it's probably the biggest lesson I've learned doing this is a game of here. More than anything else, the game's here. And once you understand the game here, you can win the game out there. That's what it comes down to. I'm going to be talking about the basics of freelancing tomorrow. I'm also going to be talking about the headspace of freelancing. It'll be early tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Mountain Time. It will be there. I will be on for about an hour talking just about different things. And on top of that, so you guys got until Sunday. After that, the prices do go up for some of this stuff. Some of it is still going to be the same, because again, I do understand, but some of it is going up. So if you want 25 pieces of content for 700 USD, you can get it right now. Because I guarantee you won't be getting that you're not going to be getting that for 700 USD Monday. But if you do happen to,
he knows his worth and the value of his services.
That's
he
right.
knows what he's providing to you. He knows it's an asset. Go on.
Yeah. So so you guys got until Monday. Now Monday, new copies coming out, and then on top of that, new prices, and very soon a web page. So just for this. So guys, you got till Monday. You got me. You can get a hold of me. And that will do it for this episode of Just Joshing. I'm sorry for the lack of the draw. This became something a little different than what we normally do. But this is Shani O. She is the Art Bard, soon to be EMT extraordinaire. Right? I always look forward to having her on the show. So for everybody watching, everybody listening, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, y'all.
Stay inspired. Keep shining in the dark. And I'll talk to you guys next time.
Have a great night. See you next time.